is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio. Reeves Immigration Law Group now brings you Immigration Law on Your Side.
Magandang gabi mga kababayan and welcome to another Immigration Law on Your Side right here at PHLV Radio. Mga kaibigan, magandang pag-uusapan natin yon is the 20th of October 2021. Napakabilis po ng panahon. Malapit na mag-Christmas. Advance Merry Christmas po sa inyong lahat. Mga kababayan, ang pag-uusapan po natin yon is tungkol sa employment-based immigration. Ilang beses yun ang naitanong ito dito sa amin sa PHLV Radio. And especially ngayon, iisa-isahin natin kung ano itong mga preferences na binabanggit natin. Pero bago yan, magpapasalamat muna ako kay Attorney kasi last week, nandito po si Attorney Diza sa PHLV Radio Studio and meron siyang pasalubong para sa PHLV Radio. Maraming salamat Attorney Diza. Dito, go Giants!
Go
Magagalit yung mga Raiders fans ko dito sa Las Vegas. Attorney, maganda po ang pag-uusapan natin as I said kasi itong immigrant workers have long played critical roles dito sa United States labor force in different occupations, especially sa mga kababayan nating nasa healthcare, Hindi lang sa healthcare dito sa Las Vegas, nandito yung mga casinos and everything, They come here as a lawful permanent residents or LPRs na tinatawag or may mga green cards. Yet, kahit napakalaki ng tulong ng mga may green card, napakahirap pa rin mag-petition o kaya complex and very time-consuming ang process na ito. Kaya ngayong gabi mga kababayan, kasama natin si Attorney Diza. Nandoon siya ngayon sa office niya sa San Francisco, California para bigyang linaw kung ano itong mga preferences na tinatawag sa employment-based immigration. Magandang gabi po sa iyo, Attorney Diza.
Good evening, Kuya Johan, at syempre sa lahat ng mga viewers and listeners natin, magandang gabi po, magandang umaga, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat at sana po patuloy tayong tumangkilik sa programa ng PHLV Radio at dito po sa ating programa Immigration Law on Your Side. Tama ka, Kuya Johan, natalo ang Giants ng LA, but we keep on hopefully next season again, right? But you're welcome on that cap, so hopefully sa susunod. But anyway, palagi natin pinag-uusapan dito sa ating programa ang employment base, pero usually ang ating discussion ay dito sa nagre-revolve sa healthcare at saka yung mga EB3, di ba? Kasi karamihan kasi sa mga kliyente natin, mga professionals and mga skilled workers, yung mga caregivers, carpenters, cook, at saka yung mga registered nurses that belongs to the EB3. Pero ngayong gabi po ay pag-uusapan natin yung mga iba't ibang preferences na employment base at kung natatandaan po ninyo, may counterpart po ito ng family base at very common sa ating mga Pilipino, right? Very familiar po tayo sa family base. Ano po yung F1, F2B, F2A, F3, F4. Ano po? Dito naman sa employment base ay siyempre merong natawag na employment base 1, EB1, or employment base 2, employment base 3, 4 hanggang 5 po yan. So mas marami ang employment compared sa family base na may 4 na kategorya, samantalang dito po sa employment ay mayroong 5.
Okay, Attorney, right at the bat, marami kaagad ang nag-comment at nung sinabi natin ito ang topic natin ngayon at last week ay nabanggit natin na yung isang kategorya dito na EB3 usually napakatagal ang hintay ngayon ay current. Mamaya papaliwanag po ni Attorney Diza kung ano po yung EB3 na yan at yung brief history kung bakit ito ay medyo magandang balita ngayon dahil ito ay naka-current para sa Pilipinas. Attorney, mabanggit natin sa kanila very briefly kung ano po itong mga kategorya ng EB immigration visa.
Yes, sa pagkakaalam natin, ano po ang employment-based immigrants ay sponsored ng employer. Pero may mga certain preference na pwedeng mag-self-petition, Kuya Johan, and I think this is where our discussion tonight na may mga tao pala na pwedeng mag-file ng sarili nila na hindi nila kailangan ng employer.
Wow.
Diba yung pinag-usapan natin kagaya ng EB3 or mga registered nurses, ang unang advice natin sa kanila ay maghanap ng employer. But there are situations na pwede palang mag-self-petition. That's number one na tandaan natin. Pangalawa, may numerical cap po yan. Kaya nagkakaroon minsan ng retrogression. So it's very important for us to look at the visa bulletin. Ito pong visa bulletin na to, ito po yung dito po natin nakikita kung ano po yung mga pinaprocess na, di ba? So it's very important for us to find out kung ano mga yan. So let's discuss na kung ano yung mga implement-based categories. Ano po yan, Johan? Right? Unang-una is yung EB1. Right? EB1, number 1 po yan. Ito ay mga preference workers. First preference, also known as the priority workers. Right? So priority in the sense na immediately available ang visa. Now, if you look at the EB1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as of now, right, lahat po ng EB1, 2, and 3 are available and current po ang visa. So let's go on to go back to the EB1. Ito po yung mga priority workers na pwedeng mag-self-petition. So sino-sino po mga to? Unang-una po ay mga persons of extraordinary ability. So ano ba ang extraordinary ability in the fields of what? Sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. So mapunta na tayo sa athletics. So halimbawa si Manny Pacquiao po ay gusto mag-green card, pwede po siya sa EB1. Right? O
He can petition himself, no?
Yes, pwede siyang mag-self-petition. Or pwede rin po si, tawag ito yung Olympic gold medalist natin, Kuya Johan, sa wrestling. Ano po, si Diaz. No? Pwede rin siya sa mga EB1. At saka mga well-known actors and actresses, pwede rin po sila mag-EB1. And I know some of the famous actors and actresses who are now here in the US obtained their green card under EB1. So hindi po lang mga persons of extraordinary ability, pwede rin po yung mga outstanding professors and researchers. Right? So nag-research professors po kayo na mayroong PhD degree, ni-recognize po ang inyong mga qualifications, right? Or nagkaroon po kayo ng pag-aaral sa inyong kurso o sa inyong field of expertise, pwede rin yan. Professors and researchers. Now, certain multinational and executive managers, pwede rin po sila sa EB1. So marami dyan yung mga big companies, right, coming here to the US to perform those supervisory tasks. So yun yung EB1, Kuya Johan. At tandaan natin, as we mentioned, may mga numerical cap yan. Filipinos, usually may mga clients din po tayo under EB1. Pero siyempre yung point ng discussion natin usually is EB3. So mas marami sa EB3 pero marami rin pong nag-avail ng EB1 and EB2. So mapunta tayo sa EB2 category, Kuya Johan. Ito po yung mga tinatawag natin na second preference who has advanced degrees. No? Usually nire-require natin yan ng may masteral degree. So aside from the 4 years bachelor degree, meron po kayong masteral. Whether here in the US or whether in the Philippines or outside of the United States. Kailangan po lang natin siguro magkaroon kayo ng equivalency ng inyong resume or inyong diploma that meets the US standard. So yun po ang EB2. No? Advanced degrees, may master degrees, right? Pwede rin mag-self-petition yan, yung mga national interest waiver. Usually yung mga doctors who are performing medical jobs, sa mga rural areas, pwede sila dyan na mag-self-petition. Tatawag natin na national interest waiver. And again, as of now, current po ang priority date nila, so pwede rin mag-file kaagad the same time with the green card. Now, yung ating palaging dinidiscuss, Kuya Johan, yung EB3 ay mga professionals, magtapos po ng 4 years or nagkaroon ng bachelor's degree sa university or mga skilled, unskilled. So basically, most of the bulk of our applicants, sa EB3 sila. Now, the difference between EB2, yung mga advanced degrees, and EB3 ay, parehong current. Kaya lang mas mataas ang EB2. There was a point na ang Pilipinas, Kuya Johan, ay ang EB3 ay may waiting time na 5 taon. At minsan 3 taon, 2 taon. But as of last year, available ang visa. Now, itong EB2 na to, ina-avail huyaan, lalong-lalo kung may retrogression, ang EB3. Right? So, pwedeng gamitin yung advanced degree or kagaya ng mga doctors or mga abogado na kagaya ko, pwede po sila sa EB2. Kasi advanced degrees po yan, or mga merong masteral degrees. Now, the other difference, of course, is the EB2 was always carried for Filipinos. Kaya ina-avail yan kung gusto nyo kaagad makakuha ng green card o makarating dito sa US. The only thing that you keep in mind here is that yung employer ba willing kayong petitionin, di ba? With your qualifications. Dahil po kung siyempre mas mataas ang qualification mo, like this job requires a masteral degree, ibig sabihin hunaan mas mataas ang sweldo nyo. So siyempre isang kinoconsider yan ng employer, to bring in people here, of course, is your salary. So kung okay naman ang EB3 mag-fit in ang job description, pwede na rin kasi as of now ang EB3 ay current and available. So in fact, mga caregivers, mga cook, carpenters, mga nannies, pwede ho sila sa EB3 other workers. And as of now, mga kababayan natin, available po ang visa. So yun po yung mga EB1, 2, and 3, Kuya Johan, very common and very common sa ating mga Pilipino na mayroong mga petitions from these categories.
Mm-hmm. Although very common ang 1, 2, and 3, correct me if I'm wrong, attorney, meron pang 4 and 5, ano?
Yes, sorry Kuya. I-ano ko lang ito para lumiwanag ng madilim.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mga kaibigan,
okay.
Yan.
Yeah, okay na. Alright. So yung EB4, marami rin sa mga kababayan natin na hindi rin alam ang EB4 pero marami rin tayong kliyente na nag-avail ng ating services to process the EB4. Mm-hmm. Ito po yung mga kahit nasa EB category yan or employment-based category, Kuya Johan, ay hindi siya employment-based. So ibig sabihin, pwedeng walang employer din kagaya ng mga juveniles. Yung mga pumasok dito a minor, like abandoned children, kagaya ng mga mostly sa mga southern borders natin, and always a problem sa ating border, di ba? Marami, especially during Obama's time, nag-extend kay Trump, until this time marami pa rin ang mga batang pumapasok, at if they were abandoned and neglected, Kuya Johan, tawag nito, pwede sila mag-file ng juvenile EB4 preference. Okay lang ba, Kuya Johan?
Medyo, ayan. Ganyan. Medyo maliwanag na. Nakikita na natin yung poging attorney natin.
For whatever reason, hindi naman po nag-ano dito sa California, pero malamig na. No?
Malamig na.
Medyo pa-winter na tayo, although nasa fall pa rin tayo, no? Pero may araw pa tayo. So anyway, yun yung EB4 Kuya Johan, mga juveniles or abandoned children.
Ayun, nabanggit yung attorney, yung hindi kailangan may employer. Ito bang mga pare, mga religious workers, can they fall on this?
Yes, that's a really good point, Kuya Johan. Yes, kasama dyan, mga pare, mga minister, mga rabbi, right? Nagpo-fall sila ng EB4 category at kailangan siyempre sa mga Catholic churches o mga ministers, perang petitioner, Kuya Johan, not necessarily to be employed, right, and be paid, pero meron po dapat tawag nito petitioner in that situation. And of course, one of the requirements is that the minister or the priest or the religious worker, we call it religious worker, must have been working with or connected with the petitioning denomination for at least 2 years. So yan po yung EB4. Yung panglima, Kuya Johan, may mga client din po tayo dito, yung mga maraming pera, right, na pwede mag-invest dito sa US. Ito po yung EB5, investor visa. Iba po yung E3, yung treaty traders. Ito po yung EB5, magkaiba po to dahil ito po yung meron kang tawag nito, required amount, diba, para mag-invest sa US. Before November of 2019, Kuya Johan, ang requirement for your investment is 1 million dito sa urban areas, or pag nag-invest ka sa rural areas naman, regional directors, is 500,000. Now, they increased that now to the rural areas is 1.8 million, and then pag sa mga rather sa urban areas is 1.8 at sa rural areas is 900,000, and there would be an increase for the next 5 years. So magkakaroon po ng increment increase every year. So doon po yun, kung may mga pera po tayo na obtained legitimately, pwede po kayong mag-invest under EB5.
EB5, okay. Tama, attorney, na nabanggit nyo yung kaninang employment din, yung tawag dito, yung pwede mag-invest, yung nabanggit nyo kanina. Dahil yun po ay non-immigrant po yun, attorney, ano? Yung isa, yung E3 ba yun? Yung treaty visa?
Yung E2, Kuya Johan, yung treaty trader, right? Investor visa or yung E1, E2, correct ka dyan, it's non-immigrant. Pero itong pinag-usapan po natin lahat, pinag-usapan natin ngayon from EB1 to EB5 ay immigrant po yan, green card po kayo. Right? Doon sa EB5, kahit nag-invest po kayo at na-approve yan, tinitignan yan para kang nag-asawa ng US citizen na you have to go back in 2 years and file a removal of condition para mabigay sa iyo ng 10 years to make sure that your investment was, of course, creating jobs, right, and making money and contributing to the economy of the United States.
Okay. Attorney, pag pinag-uusapan itong employment-based visa, ilang bisita na rin natin dito sa PHLV ang nagtanong, palagi kasing nababanggit itong word or words na priority date. Ilang beses tinatanong nila, ito na, ang priority date ko, nandito na. Meron pang sinasabing na-recapture yung kanyang, tawag dito, yung kanyang priority date. Ano po ba, attorney, ito ang priority date para sa ating mga tagapakinig?
Yes, the priority date is the time when you file for your petition or labor certification. That's the determination ng inyong priority date. Dito rin magdedetermine yung waiting time so that when you look at the visa bulletin, you determine kung anong priority date na ang pinaprocess ng Department of Labor at ng USCIS. So once you look at the priority date and it's available, and if you are in the United States, then you can file for the adjustment of status. If you are outside the United States at kayo po naghintay ng priority date at available na yung priority date, then the National Visa Center will issue you instructions on how to proceed, to pay for the fees for the affidavit support, submit your civil documents and financial documents, and wait for the interview. So the priority date determines the visa availability of your application. So nandyan po yan, makikita ninyo yan once you file inyong petition, right? Whether the labor certification or the I-140. Kasi pag nag-file po kayo ng I-140, ito po yung employment or employer's visa application or visa petition for you, the non-immigrant applicants. Doon nyo makikita sa resibo, nakalagay po doon ang inyong priority date.
Maraming salamat, attorney, sa paglilinaw niyan. At mga kaibigan, nabanggit ni attorney yung adjustment of status, especially when you're here in the United States. We had an episode not too long ago about that, yung I-485. So balikan lamang po sa ating mga archive ng Immigration Law on Your Side ang episode na yan para po sa full discussion about adjustment ng inyong status to green card pag nandito po kayo sa loob ng United States. Attorney, ilan sa mga itinatanong nila dito sa ating talakayan ngayong gabi, attorney? I'll just pick some of them. Regarding employment-based visa, attorney, sino po ba daw ang nagbabayad ng mga fees sa USCIS being that this is an employment or employer driven petition, aside from those who na nag-self-petition? Sino po ba, attorney, ang kailangan magbayad ng mga filings na ito?
Generally, Kuya Johan, it's the employer who should pay for the fees. And before the petition, Kuya Johan, yung sa EB3, as we mentioned in the past, EB3, usually ang EB3 and some of the EB2 categories, merong initial filing yan, yung labor certification. Diba? They have to test the US market to make sure that there's no willing, able, and capable na US citizen for the job. So, kailangan ng employer na mag-advertise, kailangan mag-recruit, magkaroon ng tawag nito ng good faith recruitment. Pag nag-fail yan, doon niya isa-certify sa Department of Labor under what we call labor certification that there's no willing, able US citizen. So once that is certified, doon po mapapasok yung I-140. Doon sa stage, Kuya Johan, ng labor certification, 100% should be paid by the employer, right? So ibig sabihin niyan ay lahat ng mga babayaran ng sa pag-process, unang-una po yung pagpapa-advertise sa newspaper. Mahal na ngayon ang advertisement ko, Johan. Kahit sabihin natin nasa digital world na tayo, di ba? Tignan mo na lang sa internet or sa Indeed or sa Craigslist, kung saan man yan, or sa company website. But it's still a requirement under the Department of Labor that you have to advertise this in a newspaper of general circulation. And hindi lang newspaper of general circulation, kailangan din, Kuya Johan, Sunday. So, yan ang unang babayar. Two consecutive Sundays na magpapa-advertise. And that fee should be handled by the employer. Pangalawa, yung professional fee, of course. Di ba? Requirement din ho ng Department of Labor that the employer should pay for the professional fee. Right? So if you consult with us at sasabihin nyo, attorney, meron na po akong employer na gusto mag-petition sa akin, ang sasabihin ko sa inyo ay kailangan kong kausapin ng employer at discuss sa kanya ang process at fees. Right? So the second step as well, Kuya Johan, we also strongly recommend that yung second step, which is the filing the immigrant visa petition, yung I-140, should also be paid by the employer. Right? It's a recommendation. But there are situations na, employee can also chip, lalo na kung malaki ang kanyang income, sila rin ang babayad. There's no such prohibition except yung mga nagkakaroon ng labor certification na kailangan under Department of Labor, the employer should pay for it. The third step, usually, Kuya Johan, for the green card, right? The green card process, or pag kayo nag-immigrate or nasa embassy na po kayo or nasa National Visa Center, the employee can pay all the professional fees and the filing fees. So yun po yung mga kailangan bayaran o requirement na bayaran ng employer at kung ano po ang pwede rin bayaran ng employees.
Being that it's current, we'll just focus on this question about EB3 because na-excite ang mga kababayan natin na current ito at alam nilang napakatagal ng hintay before. Now that it's current daw, attorney, assuming that there is an employer, final ang I-140, in the conditions that we're in right now, the pandemic and the limited appointments probably at the USCIS, aabutin pa po ba daw ng isang taon or gaano kahaba ito bago sila makabiyahe papunta ng Amerika?
Yes, just because of the condition that we have right now in the pandemic. It's a different story, Kuya Johan, kung nandito kayo sa US kasi once the labor certification is approved, right, whether EB1, 2, 3 kayo, available na ang visa. So meaning, pwede na pong mag-file concurrently yung I-140 and adjustment at the same time. Provided, of course, briefly, as we discussed in the past, nasa status po kayo. Meaning, nasa tourist visa pa kayo, di pa nag-expire yung tourist visa nyo, o nasa other non-immigrant visa kayo, kagaya ng halimbawa, student visa, L1 visa, or H1B, or E2, or other non-immigrant status. Right? Kung wala kayo, kung overstay na kayo, right, and this is very important, pinag-usapan lang din natin last week, kung 245I kayo, may kayong prior petition, at overstay kayo, pwede kayo mag-adjust through the current employer. So yun po ang gagawin, Kuya Johan, right away, immediately after nung approval ng labor certification ninyo, pwede nung green card kung nasa US. Now, yung nasa Pilipinas naman po, pag na-approve na ang inyong I-140, right, available po ang visa. Of course, the problem with the backlog and the pandemic that we experienced since last year of March, right? More than 1.5 years na po tayo na may backlog and may mga delays because of the COVID. Most likely, mga isang taon din ang waiting time natin. It's really hard for me to be quoted by clients na sabi ni Attorney Diza, isang taon lang pala. Of course, depende po yan sa sitwasyon natin kung mag-improve po ang sitwasyon at dadami ang number of interviews sa embassy. Hopefully, in a year's time, nandito na po kayo, right? And ang hope natin is babalik po ang, number of interviews na embassy pre-pandemic. Kasi as of now, may mga limitations pa rin, Kuya Johan, right? Pina-priority pa rin nila yung mga binabanggit nila na if you are the spouse or minor children or parent of a U.S. citizen, or yung may mga medical condition ng petitioner, yun po ang pinapriority na as of this time. So yun po ang processing time at expected interviews po ninyo when it comes to the EB3 visa applications.
All right. Okay, so mga kababayan, marami pa kayong mga tanong at ilan pa dito ang itatanong natin kay attorney. Katulad nitong ilang mga nurses na nakatutok sa atin ngayong gabi. We've had discussions about you a few episodes ago. Balikan lamang po sa ating archive ng Immigration Law on Your Side. But there's a question about labor certification sa mga nurses. Sa pagbabalik po, attorney, ng ating Immigration Law on Your Side, itanong natin itong labor certification para sa mga nurses kung kailangan pa daw po ito. Mga kaibigan, sa pagbabalik po ng Immigration Law on Your Side, dito lamang po sa PHLV Radio, hatid po sa atin ng Reeves Immigration Law Group.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has been representing immigrants for nearly 40 years. Reeves Immigration Law Group has been fighting for its clients through experience and expertise. With immigration lawyers you can access at reasonable fees, even on Saturday. Payment plans are also available. Call us for your immigration solutions. We can do worldwide telephone and Skype consultations. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009. Reeves Immigration Law Group has offices in Los Angeles, San Francisco, China, and Philippines. See us at www.rreeves.com. Reeves Immigration Law Group, 1-800-795-8009.
All right, welcome back to Immigration Law on Your Side right here at PHLV Radio. It's a fresh episode tonight. It's the 20th of October, 2021. At ang mga pinag-uusapan po natin ngayon, mga updates especially is current as of this date, the 20th of October. Sa ilang pong mga episodes pa ng PHLV Radio's Immigration Law on Your Side, hatid sa atin ang Reeves Immigration Law Group. Mangyari lamang po na balikan sa ating Facebook page, sa Facebook page din po ng Reeves Immigration Law Group. And of course, our podcast edition sa ating Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcast. And also, we are on YouTube and Amazon Fire TV. Maraming salamat po sa pagtutok. Before we went into a break, isa sa mga itinanong na ating mga kababayan na nurse ay itong labor certification. Nasagot na ni attorney ito before. Very briefly lang, attorney. So ito po daw ng mga nurses ay hindi na kailangan dumaan ng labor cert or labor certification?
Correct, Kuya Johan. Since the 90s, the Department of Labor has declared that registered nurses and physical therapists, mayroon tayong scarcity of nurses and physical therapists, so hindi na po kailangan ng labor certification. Mm-hmm. And the purpose, of course, ng labor certification is to make sure na walang nadi-displace na US workers. And as of now, marami tayong kailangan, lalo na at this time of pandemic, na kailangan natin ng frontliners. Mm-hmm. In fact, there is a pending resolution or bill sa Congress na nabibigyan ng mga expedited visa sa mga frontliners natin. So tutukan din nila, titignan natin kung may pasa po yan, lalong-lalo na yung mga dito na naghihintay dito sa US at kailangan ng employer. So we don't need you don't need a labor certification. Just go ahead with the I-140 application. And in fact, if you're here on a valid visa, or if you're 245I and you're overstayed, then as long as you have an employer, you can file the I-140 or the immigrant visa petition and adjustment of status at the same time.
All right. Okay, mga kaibigan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ito pinag-usapan natin yon, employment-based category. Balikan lamang po ang episode nito kung medyo kararating nyo lamang po dito sa ating programa ngayon. We started with EB 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And everything in between. Attorney, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga information na ibinabato natin sa ating mga kababayan sa ating employment-based category ng immigrant petition. Attorney, kung meron pong mga tanong ang ating mga kababayan at gusto pong mag-reach out sa inyo sa Reeves Immigration Law Group, paano po kayo makukontak ng ating mga kababayan?
Yes, ang aming opisina ay meron sa San Francisco where I am based, meron din sa Los Angeles, sa China, and Makati. You can check our website at www.rreeves.com or Reeves Immigration Law Group. I-search po ninyo yan. Nasa Yelp po tayo, nasa Google search, nasa may website po tayo, and Facebook. You can also message us here as you're watching this episode or any episode for that matter. Kung itag lang po ninyo ako o si Kuya Johan or PHLV Radio, and then Kuya Johan will forward to me your questions. You can also directly message me sa aking Facebook account, sa FJ Diza Immigration Attorney, and then I can set you a phone consultation or Zoom consultation. As of now, we are conducting through Zoom consultation. You can choose any of the attorneys. We're more than 10 here, and most of us are immigration law specialists certified by the State Bar of California. You can also check our call our office at 415-568-3777. Yung nasa Pilipinas po, you can check our website and telephone number sa aming Makati office, and they can set you a Zoom conference sa ating mga sa aming mga abogado dito sa US.
Maraming salamat po, Attorney Diza. And it was a pleasure seeing you last week dito sa studio sa Las Vegas, Nevada. And we hope that makakapasyal po muli kayo dito sa atin sa PHLV radio. Attorney,
hopefully before the year ends, Kuya Johan.
Yes, tamang-tama. Okay,
yes.
Tamang-tama. The holidays, it's fast approaching. Nandiyan na ang Halloween, nandiyan na ang Thanksgiving. Yung sunod-sunod na Christmas and then New Year. But makakaasa po kayo mga kababayan that we will be here, whether by Zoom or here at the studio. Patuloy po ang ating pagbibigay serbisyo publiko sa inyong lahat sa ating immigration law on your side. Attorney, I'll give you the floor. Baka meron po kayong gustong i-announce at sabihin sa ating mga audience ngayong gabi.
Well, of course, maraming salamat ulit Kuya Johan at sa ating mga kababayan nakikinig at nanonood. Patuloy po ninyong tangkilikin ang aming programa at programa ng PHLV Radio. Pwede nyo i-share o itag yung mga kaibigan na may mga problema o privately message kung ayaw nyo po i-discuss in public ang inyong immigration problems. We value privacy, right? So you can message me directly and respond to you directly or set you a phone conference or phone appointment. Just mention PHLV Radio. We can give you a big discount pag na-mention po ang PHLV Radio, and probably give you a free consultation if necessary. Yun po ang mga sabihin natin sa mga kababayan natin nasaan man kayo. It's always better to talk out and discuss your immigration problems. We might find some solution. Right, and we'll be very honest to you kung hindi po doable at wala tayong magagawa o kailangan nyo maghintay ng immigration reform. So even with that situation, Kuya Johan, meron po ang aming opisina where people will consult or had consulted with us, and we think that they are eligible or prospective eligible sila ng immigration reform ni Biden. Right, we place them in one area where we contact them, right? If we think that a future law or a law will be applicable, and we'll call them or email them that the new law will be applicable and we can do something for the case. So we also do that. Maraming salamat ulit Kuya Johan, and I'll see you next week for another episode. At isa pa pala, sa mga kababayan natin nakikinig at nanonood, kung meron po kayong special request, right, kung ano po ang topic of discussion namin ni Kuya Johan dito, we also encourage that, right, para po ma-discuss kahit po kayo lang may concern. Probably we can elaborate and give some examples and solutions to your situation or to your immigration concern. Maraming salamat ulit at magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
All right. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat po, Attorney Fil-Am Javier Diza, partner at Reeves Immigration Law Group based out there in San Francisco, California. Give our regards po, attorney, sa lahat ng staff, lahat ng attorneys ng Reeves Immigration Law Group. Nanggagaling po sa Las Vegas, Nevada, dito po sa PHLV Radio Studio. Ito po si Kuya Yo, and magpadala lamang po kayo ng inyong mga comments, suggestions, at katulad ng nasabi ni attorney, kung meron po kayong mga suggestions ng mga topic or mga issues na kailangan nating i-discuss dito sa immigration law on your side, padala lamang po sa ating mga social media pages, sa ating email, info@phlvradio.com, or sa Reeves Immigration Law Group. So until then, we will see you next time. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat, and you take care. We'll see you next time.
Reeves Immigration Law Group has just brought you Immigration Law on Your Side. Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific on PHLV Radio.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV.